I would personally like to thank SS Sniper Wolf. The time is 9:36 a.m. on the 22nd of April, 2025, which is indeed a Tuesday. Now, the reason I said what I said at the start of this video is because I'm going to make what they call the reaction video, where you react to something. However, because I'm not a fan of, what does she react to? Fortnite funnies? Or Instagram wheels? You know, the Instagram wheels on the bus. They fucking go round and round, I'll tell you. But where am I headphones? So I'm gonna do it with the stuff that I genuinely dig, such as music, TV shows, movies. I might read some books. You see, that's the thing about this channel, it's nothing and everything. I'm not gonna stick to one form of me talking about my life. I'm gonna try a bunch of stuff. I mean, you know, the books that I've got in my possession. Where's the best one? Okay. Just a quick show off. The Tibetan Book of the Dead. I've read some of this, it's really good. Junkie. I'm currently this far through it. And last but not least, as you can see from the dust, I haven't picked this one up in a while. But I did finish it. Good Lord above, I did finish it. So yeah, that's why I think this channel really isn't made for anyone other than myself. Because, you know, these react videos, they get right into it. They start it off and they say, hello today, and we're gonna check out what the latest video by Lana Seated 333, also known as Zombie Sobs. Thank you for the comments. Now I feel this immense pressure on me to keep up my cigarette quitting, which is very unnerving. But I mean, I haven't bought a pack yet today, so we have that. I did check out Get Sick and Miss School Subliminal. So, because I'm not in school anymore, I'm not sure if that will work. However, I do have work tomorrow. I'm not going to say what my job is, but you know, maybe I'll get tomorrow off. I also looked at the playlist. You got pretty damn good taste in music. I remember seeing the Smiths. This girl that was she was really famous for like playing acoustic guitar and doing covers of songs. She's really good. There are many others that I remember going, oh, those aren't too bad. Oh yeah, Vampire Empire, I think, by Big Thief. I love that. Deftones, Oasis, yeah, good stuff. I haven't heard the Front Bottoms. It's a silly name. A bit like Anal Cunt. This is just what I need. This is just what I need. You see what happens at this every day that I try and quit cigarettes. This is what happens in the morning. I last for around 2 hours and then I get a sneezing fit. And then after that fit, I feel so worn out that I then go to the corner store and get some fags. So, you know, we'll see how it turns out. I'm probably going to edit this down as well, right? I mean, Christ, 5 minutes have passed already. The album that I was planning on listening to today. You see, I'm not gonna fucking redo phrases that I mispronounce. What's the point? I'm not Jax Films doing his fucking intro 100 different times so that it's perfect. You're not Stanley Kubrick. Get over yourself. You don't even make films, Jack. Shane Dawson made a couple of films, which must feel awful, considering how much Jax Films actually prefers to make films and how much of a better human being he is. However, we're going to check out today the Magnetic Fields. I think we're going to try their entire discography, which means I'm eventually going to do 69 love songs. Okay, let's move this out of the way a bit. People, when people react to things, right, it's normally on a bit of an angle like this. I don't know why, it's so they can look ahead. So you can get like a nice side profile view of my That's fucking amazing. So, you know, I can look like that. So, let's get these fucking things off and talk about the cover. Very childlike. It reminds me of those maps, those big, like, carpet maps that you used to drive cars across as a youngin'. What's the album called again? Distant Plastic Trees. And this is before Fake Plastic Trees. So fuck you, Radiohead. Stephen Mayer got there first. Then on the back here, we got a photograph of what looked like to be a couple, I'm just presuming. Also having a picnic, it looks. Management, etc. by Claudia Gonson. Wasn't she later in the band? Is it Claudia or Claudia as well? Thank you, Kate Messer, Claudia Stanton, The Wild Stairs. I can see why they thanked The Wild Stairs, because the song on this album, Baby's Falling, is a cover of a Wild Stairs song, which I actually listened to before recording this video. And it's freaky. It's really freaky. Because the melodies of the song are very childlike and sweet and almost nursery rhyme-ish. Yet the guitars are extremely dissonant in the chords that they play. They're almost hitting the right notes, but not quite there, which is on purpose. With the personnel, we have obviously Susan Anway sings Stephen Merritt songs. That's funny. That's quite funny. Also on this back cover, we obviously have the continuation of the photograph. I wonder who Wendy Smith is. And this fucking barcode is pissing me off. So yeah, everything on this album, apart from vocals, is Stephen Merritt. What a fella. Let's try it out. Now, I haven't heard this album in a while, which, you know, probably defeats the purpose of making a reaction video. I don't fucking give a shit. I'm gonna do the same with the Fall, possibly with everything that I already know, okay, because I find it interesting. And I find it also when I'm being recorded while listening to an album, I try and pay attention more, so that the reaction is actually kind of interesting. I can talk about things, instead of just having having it on in the background. You know what I mean? This is weird. This is the first time that I've ever done this. So I feel conflicted. But I am. I'm also going to have no pauses. I'm just going to speak my mind while the song's going. Okay. Also, yes, it will be edited for YouTube. I haven't listened to the song in a while. Remember the timing always used to mess me up. I can hear it perfectly now. I fucking love this song. Everything about it, the synths, the drum pattern. The lyrics. Perfect opening song. That thing. The lyrics are surreal in a way that makes sense as well, and the feeling comes through. It's about caring for someone. It's just gorgeous. Perfection. The way it makes me feel. It's just fantastic. Next we have Smoke Signals. You see, now I get into his humorous side. The production is really... Well, obviously there's a certain falsity to the sound of the instruments. You hear guitar, but it doesn't sound right. And you hear piano, but it also sounds a bit off. And obviously that's the way that it's supposed to sound. I mean, the melodies are pretty stunning. But the beauty of the melodies intertwined with the way that they sound is giving me like conflicting feelings. The way that synth in the middle is sounding. It like sounds like music that you would hear through your DSi speaker. Playing a Yoshi game. Okay, here we go. You love to fail.
Maybe tomorrow I'll see love in your eyes, and mine will dry. Maybe.
You see, the same sounds as the last one. You can tell that's supposed to be a guitar. But there's something about the fact that the tone is changing when the pitch goes up. You can tell that the tone goes slightly treblier. It's because of the chord progression and the melody of this one. It's more punchy in a way, more uplifting. It's just a good pop song, you know. Produced in a very minimalistic way. I mean, she's a fantastic singer for this type of music.
people on the street were made of meat. Black chocochinos blue. Your spirit
Alright, this one's really odd. Again, the melodies are perfectly reasonable, but the reverb that they're in, and the fact that they seem so distant, but this ending progression, I love. Just static. I'm not sure. I don't know. Guys. Okay, now we get to the cover. Just as unnerving as the original.
bleeding from the waist and kissing to be chased. Stands there with his eyes closed, asking where'd you go?
Creepy.
Where'd you go?
Some of this stuff reminds me of what Animal Collective later did with like their weirdest stuff, like their first two albums. It's purposefully anti-commercial. Living in an abandoned firehouse with you. See, this is this type of stuff that hits. I find the other stuff entertaining, and I like feeling uncomfortable by music. But obviously I like to feel good too. A chord progression that a lot of people tend to use is 1 to 4. And I can't help it if it's unimaginative. It just, I find it extremely beautiful to hear. It has been the same thing all the way throughout, but for some reason I'm not getting that sick of it. The different like phrasing and certain melodies of the vocals is keeping me intrigued, and also all the synth washes and that beautiful stuff. Cute. Kitschy. It's nice. Tar Heel Boy. I like that lyric. Although there's something just instantly chuckle-inducing when I hear genres like this played with old synths. Like banjo and synth, I don't know, it tickles my funny bone. I like that change up in the melody though. Falling in love with the WOLFBOY. Ooh. Right, I like this. find songs that mess you up timing-wise in the intro extremely intriguing. The Beatles have done it, Jimi Hendrix, Sonic Youth. It makes the listening more engaging, I think. John Beat reminds me of New Order. Alright, this section I'm really digging. I love that. I love that. That ending, it kind of saved the song for me, to be honest.
If I were Napoleon, in my red convertible. If I were Napoleon,
The only car I want is a red convertible.
I might let you be my Josephine, Josephine.
That's beautiful.
If I were Napoleon,
It's good that I'm in a mood for music like this, because if I wasn't, I would be having a hard time right now. Just because a lot of songs do repeat themselves consistently. But if you're in the right state of mind, those repetitions can become extremely hypnotizing and just kind of focus. Again, it has just repeated itself all the way through, but the fact that the melody is kind of changing from, what's her name, Susan? Okay, we have 100,000 fireflies. Alright, this is it.
makes me want to kill myself.
Okay, now I guess it's time to talk a bit about a couple of problems I have when I listen to albums and when I do watch movies. If I get interrupted halfway through, I feel a great intense desire to start the entire thing from the start, because if there's a break in the middle, unless it's a vinyl and it's specifically meant that way, if it's an entire CD, it's meant to flow. And if there's a break, I feel like I haven't gotten the full experience of it, which is obviously bullshit. I'm just doing that to make it hard on myself, but it's still a pain. Anyway, let's go back to 100,000 Fireflies, which I believe is the only single from the album. So let's go ahead. It also seems that this one is much brighter. It does sound like fireflies, how they look. Very sparkly, very bright.
I'm afraid of the dark without you close.
I love this chorus.
I'm afraid of the dark without you close to me. I went out.
I think this might be my second favourite of the album. Railway Boy, nothing's gonna top Railway Boy. You saw the way my eyes were tearing up. But this is just beautiful.
Give me one more chance. You won't be happy anyway. Why do we still live here in this repulsive town?
Right, those lyrics have just hit. And it got to me.
Why do we keep shrieking when we mean soft things? We should
beautiful lyric to end the song off. And then we finish it off with Plant White Roses. An actual guitar. So many vocal tracks. It's also the longest song on the album, so let's see if it deserves it. I know it doesn't really sound like it's on the same album. I mean, it's got a completely different vibe. Sorry, it's got a completely different, like, feel, atmosphere than the other songs. But it's a good ending. It's a nice, relaxing one after some really wild synths. I like bird synths.
You'll have to stay and watch them grow. You have to stay. You plant white roses and plant pride.
After that spoken word.
My life with you. My life with you.
You know, I was expecting to be much more disappointed, to be frank, because I had heard that song. I heard that entire album previously, but listening to it again, and I think this is actually helping. And so yes, I am doing it for me, and not for you. Well, I'm doing it for me, and Lana Sita 333. But yeah, I think it's a unique album. Very unique. One of a kind, especially for, I think it said 28th of February 1991. And I don't think, well, hardly anyone was making music like that. I'm not sure if it's ahead of its time, just because the synths do sound outdated. That's not a fault of the album, that's just it's not a fault. It's kind of a charm to it. It's definitely a charm. So yeah, I think the lyrical aspect of it, there are some lines that just cut deep, others that are funny, it's all over the place. Same with the musicality of the album itself. You know, going from extremely pop-centric minimalism to avant-garde minimalism. You know, I think if John Cage heard Kings, then he would be extremely, he would be filled with joy. And then we also have some countrified songs such as Tar Heel Boy and especially Plant White Roses, which I think is the perfect song to kind of end it, even though 100,000 Fireflies seems like the obvious ending. Plant White Roses. I enjoy it. Maybe other people don't. Maybe Stephen Merritt thought to you know, remove it from all consequential pressings of the album just because it didn't really suit the rest. But it did. There's still some strange synthy sounds in there. It's just the fact that it has an actual acoustic guitar. And if it was earlier in the album, it wouldn't make sense. If it was the first song on the album, that really wouldn't make sense. The fact that it's the last, I think it's a damn fine decision. So we'll see you all these what is it, like I think I've got 3 subscribers. So, you know, cheers. Fuck off. Ciao.